take any props that you might want. If you have something like a yoga block that you might want to use, or a book or something you can pick up easily and use for support, go ahead and grab that. If you want a blanket or something to sit on for when we first start out, for forward folds is something I would suggest that you go ahead and grab one of those just to help you get a little bit deeper into your forward fold. A strap, anything that you might need that might make this a little easier for you. Some of the poses through this balancing sequence will be a little more challenging, so take what you want, take any options or variation that will fit into you and your practice. So let's start onto our backs. I want you to come onto your back and just hug your knees into your chest. Take a few nice deep breaths, maybe just kind of rock gently back and forth, side to side. Then circle the knees, you can grab the front of the knees, just make nice big circles. And just change direction with those circles. Cross the right thigh over the left thigh, reach behind, grab, and just hug the thighs into you. Flex the feet here. And just kind of gently draw the shoulder blades down into the mat. Use your arms, use your arm muscles to hug those thighs in towards you. Go ahead and cross those and just change directions. Place fingers behind the thigh, press with the heels, spread the toes. Hug the thighs in towards you. And then go ahead and cross those. Once again, hug the knees into the chest. Just curl into a tight little ball, as tight as you can get. And then keep into that little ball. Grab behind the thighs, behind the knees, and just stay as curled as you can and just do some spinal rolls. The next time, coming all the way up to seated. If you want to have a blanket or something, here's a good place to grab that. Sit onto the blanket. This just helps the knees open up a little bit more. And just kind of sit comfortably, walk the sitting bones back from you. Stay nice and long through the torso. And then start folding from the hips. Start folding forward. Walk the hands out. Press the sitting bones back and away from you. Reach the sternum forward. Couple more breaths here. Stay nice and long through the torso. Just walk the hands back. Engage your core to help support the back. Change the crossing of your legs. One way is going to feel more comfortable and natural to you. Walk the sitting bones back. Same thing. Hinging forward. Flex the feet a little if you'd like. Kind of helps keep the knee and ankle in alignment. You can let the head relax here, but keep pressing the hips back, keep reaching the chest forward. And notice if the elbows go out to the side, so you can kind of wrap so the elbows point a little bit more towards the floor. Another breath. Keep it nice along the torso. Walk the hands back. Engage the core muscles to help support the back. And come into an easy forward fold. Just stretch the legs out in front of you. Pull the toes back towards you from the hips. Fold forward. Grab the feet. Here's where you can use a strap, a belt, a towel. Your hands don't reach your toes or your feet. If you can also reach the feet on the soles, the hands on the soles of the feet. A few nice deep breaths here. Another breath. And using your core muscles, lift yourself back up. We're going to push the left foot onto the floor. Walk the hands behind you a little bit. Lift up your hips, cross the right ankle over the left knee. Drop the hips back down. Walk the hands as close as you can to keep the chest lifted here. So we don't want to slouch down here. We keep a nice little lift. And this right foot here, the top foot, keep it pulling back. Keep the foot engaged, keep pressing through the heel, and spread the toes. Kind of leaning the chest in towards your calf. Two more breaths. Then we're going to go ahead and extend the left leg out in front of you. Let the right foot cross over. Get nice and long to the spine. Take a twist over that right leg. Hold the left toes back. Keep that leg engaged. Hug the right shoulder blade back onto your back. Being sure to twist over the bent knee. Another breath. Nice and easy. Unwind that. Use your core muscles. Always use those to help steer you back. Go ahead, extend both legs out in front of you. Take that little forward fold again. Just a couple of breaths here. And use your core, nice long back. Walk yourself, lift yourself back up. This time the right foot slides onto the floor. Hands behind you, lift the hips up. Cross the left ankle over. Spread the toes, press to the heel. Sit your bottom back down. Walk the hands as close as you can. If you find that you have to round like this, then walk the hands a little further back. What you're after is getting the torso nice and long, keeping the spine nice and long. So just accommodate yourself to where your body needs to be. If your feel loosens up, then you can go ahead and walk the hands a little closer. But try to keep that top foot, that left foot on this side, engaged, the toes spreading, the heel pressing away. Let's take another breath here. Then we're going to slide that right foot straight out. Let that left foot cross over. Get nice and long through the torso. Take a twist to the left. This time left shoulder blade kind of hugs back onto the back. Right foot is engaged. Toes are spreading. Heels pressing away from you. Toes are pulling back towards your shin. Take another breath here. Nice and easy. Unwind that. One more time. Let's come to that little forward fold. So extend the legs out. Get nice and long. Hinge forward from the hips. Reach your strap, your feet, whatever you can grab. Press the booty, your sitting bones away from you as you reach your chest forward. One more breath. And then walk yourself back. If you're seated on a blanket, go ahead and remove that blanket now. Set it aside. Come onto your hands and knees. Turn the toes under. Press back to downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. I always like to point out down dog because we want to try to get out of our wrist, make our wrist comfortable. So it's about pressing through the knuckles and the fingerprints. Not the fingertips, but the fingerprints. And press down through that. You can feel a little lightness into the heel of your hand, which hopefully will take any pressure out of your wrist. On your next inhale, come into plank pose. Drop the knees to the floor so the knees are underneath of the hips. Hands are underneath of the shoulder. Take the left leg behind you. Toes point down. Internal rotation. Right arm reaches in front of you. Thumb towards the sky. Hug the low ribs and the belly away from the floor. Keep the left arm, the supporting arm, nice and strong, pressing down. Press through the heel. Reach to the fingertips. Take a few breaths here. See if you can take the left leg, turn the toes out to the left, bring that leg over to the side, keep it as lifted as much as you can, bring the foot to the floor, lift yourself up, toes point out a little bit, slide down that leg, little side stretch here. A couple nice deep breaths. You're really reaching for the right fingertips, trying to get that arm straight as you can. One more breath here. On your next inhale, lift yourself up. Place the right hand onto the floor. Float the left leg up. Flex the foot. Take the left arm to the sky. Maybe reach the left arm overhead. Again, hug the low ribs in. Keep the left leg lifted. Come back. Both hands in front of you, left leg still lifted. Turn the right toes under. Press to downward facing dog. Three-legged downward facing dog. Bring that left leg to the floor. Take a couple breaths. Next inhale, come into plank pose. Drop the knees to the floor. This time, right leg goes behind you, internal rotation, toes point towards the floor, reach the left arm out in front of you, thumb towards the sky. And try not to let the belly collapse here. Another breath. Then turning the toes out to the right. See if you can take that right leg out to the side. Bring the foot to the floor, lift yourself up, turn the toes out a little bit, slide down that leg. Reach to the left fingertips. Next inhale, lift yourself up, left hand goes to the floor, right leg floats, press to the heel, spread the toes, right arm floats up, reaches overhead. Another breath here. And then keeping that right leg lifted, take that right leg back behind you, hands to the floor, turn the toes under, press up three-legged dog. Bring that right foot to the floor. Downward facing dog. And then you're just going to simply walk the feet to the hands, top of the mat. Come into a nice little forward fold. Weight slightly forward into the balls of the feet. Head relaxes down. Wrap your arms behind your calves. Press your forearms into your calves. Press your calves into your forearms. Lift the sitting bones up. Let the head drop down. Another breath. And then release the legs. Lift yourself up into halfway position. Engage your core here. Nice and long in halfway position. Next inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Come into a little bouncing. Take the feet together. Toes will be touching. Possibly come onto the balls of the feet. You might even have your heels hugging together. So reach your arms to the sky. Relax the shoulders. We don't want the shoulders going up by the ears. Relax the shoulders down. Find a focal point and come on to the tippy toes. Ribs hug in. Another breath. Hands to the heart. Heels to the floor. Separate the feet a little bit here if you'd like. Hip distance. Inhale, circle the arms. Exhale, swan dive forward, fold. Inhale, halfway position, lift up and lengthen. Exhale, step back to plank pose. Couple breaths here in plank. Press the heels away, press the floor down and away. Make sure not to drop the face towards the floor. Back of the head stays lifted. Downward facing dog on your next exhale. On your next exhale, either walk the feet to the hands, hop the feet to the hands, or jump the feet to the hands. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway position, lift and lengthen. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Bring the feet together. With an inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Relax the shoulders down the back. Come onto the tippy toes. Find a focal point. Keep your eyes focused. One more breath. And then drop the heels, bend the knees, chair pose. Keep the knees squeezing together, the thighs squeezing together. Shift the weight to the right foot, float the left knee up. Three-legged chair, or one-legged chair. Foot to the floor, shift the weight to the left foot, float the right knee up. Both feet to the floor, forward fold. Inhale, halfway position. Step back to plank pose. You can stay in plank pose or you can take a vinyasa. You can always drop the knees down to the floor. Vinyasa, you can either take cobra, knees up or knees down, lowered all the way to the floor for cobra, to upward facing dog, or to downward facing dog, I'm sorry. Or you can come from plank pose, take the chaturanga push up, shoulders slightly go forward, chest to elbows, press through, lift the chest, broaden through the collarbones, downward facing dog. Next exhale, either walk, jump, or float, feet to hands, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway position. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath. Bring the feet together. Reach the arms to the sky on the inhale. Relax the shoulders down. Find your focal point. Come onto your tippy toes. Two more breaths. Heels to the floor. Hands to the heart. Inhale, circle the arms. Chair pose. Shift the weight to the right foot, float the left knee up. This time you're going to step back with that left foot to crescent. Reach it straight back, touch down, arms to the sky. Bend the back knee just to hover. Press through, lift that, straighten that back leg. Look forward, lean forward a little bit. Take the hands to the heart. See if you can float that left knee back up. Foot to the floor. Take a breath. Feet will come together. On an inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Find your focal point. Relax the arms. Come onto the tippy toes. Hands to the heart, heels to the floor. Inhale, circle the arms. Chair pose. Shift the weight to the left foot, float the right knee up. Step that foot back, crescent. Bend the back knee to hover. Lift a little bit, hands to the heart. See if you can float the right knee up. Foot to the floor. Take a breath here. Next, inhale, circle the arms. Exhale, take that swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway position, lift. Step back to plank pose. Stay in plank. You can do a child's pose or take your vinyasa. If you're taking the vinyasa, use the full entire breaths. You can inhale here, exhale, lower down for chaturanga, or lower all the way for cobra. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Next, exhale, however you want to get the feet to the hands, top of the mat. If you're hopping the feet to the hands, you're going to want to look between the hands a little bit. Bend the knees like you're pouncing, and then press through the hands. Forward fold. Inhale, half the position, lift. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, rise all the way up, reach the arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath here. Next, inhale, arms reach to the sky, chair. Shifting weight to the right foot, float the left knee up. Step it back, crescent. Reach it back, softly put it down. Back knee drops down. This time, right heel lifts up. We're going to press through the left foot, and you're going to take the left hand to the floor, right hand to the sky. Right heel is still lifted. Then we're going to unwind this. The right heel is going to stay lifted. You're going to see if you can come back into crescent. Take your time. Find that balance. Find that strength. Heel to the floor. Hands to the heart. Float the right or the left knee up. Foot to the floor. Take a breath. Next, inhale, arms reach to the sky, chair. Shift the weight to the left foot, float the right knee up. Step it back, crescent. Back knee drops down to hover. Left heel lifts up. Right hand to the floor, left hand to the sky, left hand still lifted. Unwind this, back to crescent, left heel still lifted. Heel to the floor, hands to the heart, float the right knee up. Foot to the floor. Inhale, circle the arms. Exhale, float down. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Step back to plank pose. Side plank to the right. Any variation, you can drop the right knee down, come to the side. You can pivot over to the right foot. You can step the left foot in front of you. You can have one foot in front of the other, feet stacked. Left arm to the sky. Keep the hips lifted as much as you can. Take that left arm overhead. If your feet are stacked, pull your toes back towards you. Come back to plank pose. Take it to the left. Same variations, anything that you want. But keep the hips lifted. Take the top hand, reach it overhead. Unwind this, back to plank pose. Downward facing dog. Take the feet as wide as the mat. Take the hands, walk the hands back to the feet, forward fold. Grab opposite elbows and hang. Another breath. Bend the knees as much as you want to or feels good here for you. Release the elbows. Walk the feet in, hip distance. Come into halfway position. Walk the hands out to plank pose. Find your downward facing dog with an exhale. With an inhale, take the right leg to the sky. Exhale, step it through. Warrior one, back heel spins down, look forward, rise up. Now take your time on this. We're going to be shifting from warrior one to warrior three. So find your focus, move at your own pace. On an exhale, the back heel's going to lift up a little bit, you're going to float. Hands can go back by the hips, out to the sides, or out in front of you. Then you're going to soften the front knee. You're going to step back to warrior one as softly as you can. You're going to do 2 more rounds like that with your own breath. Take your time. There's no hurry here. There's no rush. It's about keeping yourself balanced, the muscles hugging in, and being focused. When you have completed 3 rounds and come back to warrior one, interlace the hands behind your back. Press the hands away, lift the sternum, lift the chest. Take a bow, humbled warrior. Either to the thigh or inside of the knee. Let the head hang down. Keep the back leg very energetic so the thigh is looking up away from the floor. Making sure that right hip doesn't sneak forward. The hips don't come forward. The hips stay level. Release the hands. Step back, plank pose. Next exhale, downward facing dog. Next inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it through, warrior one. Back heel spins down, look forward, rise up. Same thing on this side, so take your time. Find your focus, find your breath. Back heel will lift as you float into warrior three. Again, any hand variation you want. Back by the hips, I like airplane wings, you can even bring them to the heart. Wherever that is for you. And this nice and lightly, step back to your warrior one. Total of 3 rounds with your breath. Think about alignment. Think about it being as steady as you can. Balance is so important. When you have completed all 3 rounds of that, we're coming back into humbled warrior, but interlace your hands. We move one finger over, so it's not your natural interlace. Take that bow. Keep that back leg strong. Keep the front knee pointing straight forward. hands to the floor. Step back to plank pose. Downward facing dog. Take a breath. Step the feet 6-8 inches forward to where you can feel your heels onto the floor. You're still in downward facing dog, not a forward fold. Then take the right leg to the sky. Press to the right hand. Press yourself away so you can start floating the left arm up. Thumb towards the sky. Internal rotation with that right leg. Strong through the right arm, pressing yourself back. Bring the hand to the floor. Bring the foot to the floor. Take a breath. Then left leg goes to the sky. Press to the left arm. Start lifting the right. Hand to the floor, foot to the floor, knees to the floor, child's pose. Take a few breaths here and let everything relax. Reach the arms overhead. Come up onto all fours. Bring the forearms to the floor. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Come into hover plank. Lift the right foot off the floor just a little bit, like an inch. Look back at that foot and see where it's at. It's a lot easier to lift it high. Keep the ribs hugging in. Foot to the floor. Change to the left. Look back at it. See where it's at. Foot to the floor, knees to the floor, child's pose. Couple breaths. Next inhale, come up onto all fours. Press back to downward facing dog. Next inhale, take the right leg to the sky. Bend the knees, stack the hips. You want to bring that right heel as close to your booty as you can. Keep pressing through the hands. Press yourself away. Like you're trying to take the knee to the sky, but keep the chest pointing more towards the mat. Really press with that left arm and keep the arms as straight as you can. Extend the leg, square the hips, step the foot to the hand. Rise up, crescent pose. Lift the right heel up. Reach forward. Both hands to the floor. The left leg is going to float to the sky. Heel stays lifted if you can. Come onto your fingertips. Use blocks wherever you can here. Keep lifting that left leg. Now drop the right heel to the floor and lift. And drop and lift. And drop and lift. Keep it lifted. Really reach that left leg up. Take both feet side by side, toes together, heels lifted. Bend the knees. See if you can come into balancing chair. This is not all that easy. Hands to the floor. Straighten the legs, heels to the floor. Let it go. Halfway position with your inhale. Step it back, plank pose. Couple breaths. On an exhale, downward facing dog. On an inhale, left leg to the sky, bend the knees, stack the hips, press through the hands a lot. Try to bring that left heel towards you. Left knee to the sky. Straighten the left leg. Square the hips. Step the foot to the hand. Come up crescent. Lift the left heel. Reach forward. Try to keep the left heel lifted as we come into standing split. Hands to the floor, right leg to the sky. Lower the left heel down and lift. And lower and lift and lower and lift. Keep it lifted. Reach that right leg up as high as you can get it. Bring both feet side by side. Toes touching, heels touching. Bend the knees, squat. Come into a little balancing. Balancing squat here. Open the knees. Take the hands to the floor. Heels may come together. Walk the hands out. Hug the low belly in. Walk the hands back. Come all the way down onto your booty. Roll all the way down onto your back. Hug the knees to the chest. Keep the knees hugging in as close to the chest as you can. Open the arms out. Drop both knees over to the right. You can rest your right hand on top of that left thigh if you want. Press the left hip down and away from you. On your next inhale, come to center. Hug the knees as close as you can to you. Drop both knees over to the left as you look to the right. Maybe rest that left hand on top. Couple nice deep breaths. Next inhale, come back to center. And just get yourself as comfortable as you can here. Let the legs rest, the arms rest. Close your eyes. Let the breath start settling down. And just stay there for a while. Maybe take 5 minutes or so out of your day, even 10 if you want, just for yourself to relax. I hope you enjoyed this balancing series. Balancing is so important in our lives as we get older. You can look around at maybe your parents or friends, just older people anywhere you go, and it's just real important for us to keep a real strong core and just keep our balance strong. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy my videos, and if you do, please subscribe and maybe even give me a little thumbs up.